Hello everyone, this is Sunny with cmh3studio, and today's tutorial is getting to know, the basics, getting to know Mobincube. I realized in my last video that I was probably too aggressive or showing too much advanced stuff before someone even knew how to use Mobincube could get started. So today's video is going to focus on just getting to know the basics, right? So here's today's agenda. We're going to walk through the definition of what is Mobincube and what it can do. We're going to go over the navigating of the interfaces. There's a new interface and there's a classic interface, and I'll show you both of those and how they work. Where is everything is kind of like I'm going to go through each of the menu items and the different screens to kind of show you where would I go to find this particular function, and then how do these screens work. And then lastly, we'll probably just kind of put together a very basic mobile app using some existing image files that I've created, and we're just going to make it fun. So what is Mobincube? So if you've never gone there, go to mobincube.com, and I'll show that link right here. Actually, I'll just log out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so if you just type in mobincube.com, you'll see a screen like this, and I would advise, take the tour. Go click on this button here and read about, what Mobincube is, what they do, and this kind of gives you an idea of, what's available to you, how you can build different kind of screens that can, play audio and video, how you can use databases both local and in the cloud. Again, just take the tour, see what's going on, and also, if you're curious, Mobincube is free, but it's free with a cost, in my opinion. When you do the free account, you get unlimited apps and unlimited space, and you can have access to Firebase, and you can get that analytics from Firebase. But the one that I've chosen to use is actually this pricing M, which allows you to remove ads from your site, access the cloud, remove the intro banner from the app itself, and then of course, for monetary reasons, you can monetize up to 7,500 active users. So what that means is when your app is serving ads, you'll earn the ad revenue 100% for up to 7,500 active users, and then the balance would go to Mobincube. So that's the pricing one, and of course if you want to read about how to make money, this is a good place to start. But what you do to get started is you sign in, and I'm just using my own credentials, right? And so let's go to the new interface. I want to show you the new interface first. So when you come to the new interface, you can create a new application. You can open up existing apps that you've worked on, and then you can also click this link to join the community, which has got some good information that maybe users have posted in the past of how they are doing something, or if they get stuck on something. The community is actually quite helpful, and it's you got an English and a Spanish version. This covers suggestions, general questions, and technical issues. But back to sign in. Let's sign into the community. Let's create a new application. Alright, when Mobincube starts and you create an app for the first time, you're going to see a screen like this. Now this is the new interface, and in the top left corner you got the actual name of your app that you're creating. When you first open it, it creates a kind of like a generic name there. You can, as you can see, it's highlighted here. You can just go into this field and create whatever name you want. So we'll just call this test app. And then below it you have all the menu items, and let's go over those because I kind of set this up a certain way that I like. Under the Windows menu item, you've got screens, and so if you click on that, you get this column over here, and this is going to show you each screen of the app. And when it's highlighted, that means I'm working on this particular screen here. The Elements item, if you click here, it adds them and removes them. This is the main area where you're going to drag and drop items you want on your on your app screen into these app. So one of the areas that you start off with is items in the layout right here, and you can drag items into the screen and it'll create a text field, because I just grabbed the text right there. Actually, it was just regular text, not text field. There's a difference. The text is what you type, right? This is information that you'll type onto the screen, and that'll be part of the app. And think of this as kind of like building a table, like layers, right? Starting with the top, and then as you add items, like an image here, it'll create the next row below. Now let's kind of scoot this over so you can see what's going on here. This is your elements properties, and so as I click on different elements, you can see the elements properties change. And if you add another item, let's say you're going to add a video, so this is one app screen that we're working on. It's called main, and you can change that too. You can call this home page by just going up to here and typing in what the name you want, and it changes it over there. So this is video, and as I click on video, you can see that the element properties will want you to select a video from your document. So really the first thing you ought to try is just getting used to how to look around and find things that you want to, and playing with these element items is definitely a help. So let's just actually create our first screen here. I'm actually going to rename it. I'm going to call it Splash. If you let me type. And if you ever want to get rid of something, you just highlight it and click this little delete icon right there, and it'll get rid of the old one. So Splash doesn't have anything here, and it wants you to drop an element in there. So if you go under Tools, you'll see something called Splash. You just drag that over here, and the Elements Properties comes up, and it says, okay, this screen within whatever amount of seconds, we'll just say 3 seconds, is going to do something, and this is what you call action, right? So let's go back to our PowerPoint. So this is a web-based tool. You don't need to download anything to your computer. It's all accessed through the web. I'm working here through Chrome, and Chrome seems to be very user-friendly with the software, so I like doing it. When you're building in Mobincube, when you're building your app here, you're actually building it for like one to many. This one app can then turn into an Android app. It could also be a Apple or an iPhone app that you can publish to the App Store. It does not require any coding knowledge, and you'll kind of see that here. It's really selecting an item or a function and then putting the parameters that you would like with it. You don't actually have to code anything to say it's this certain width or not. All the element properties will help you define those things. I guess I probably should have done this first, but so what can you do with Mobincube? You can build apps that contain multiple screens. You can utilize text, images, video, audio, databases. You can publish, you can demo. Demo is just like creating a one-time version of your app that you've created. You can download it to your phone or to an Android emulator on your computer, and you can test it out. And I highly recommend that. One, you kind of want to see the results of what you've done. So even though the new interface is pretty good about displaying what you've got, it can't do it all. And so it can't simulate all the functionality, especially like forms and other things like that. But we'll see what we can display here. So the interfaces, the app names, the screen types, the elements, and the content tree. That's kind of do that. So the app name is actually, if you're wanting to create a new app, you would go here, open up an existing. You can duplicate an existing mobile app that you've already created. You can actually delete it. You can set the name. So we set the name by just clicking up here, but you can also do that down here where you just go set name, and it just takes you right back to there. Select set icon. So in the top left up here is where you're going to put an icon that belongs with this site. So you can either click that button or double click that up there in the corner. And we're going to upload an image from our local file directory. And we just need to find, I think I'm going to use images from this Teen Ghost Hunter. Alright, so an important thing about the icon is it should be exactly 512 by 512 pixels in order for it to fit properly on the screen. So I just imported it there, and I just click Save Icon. And now you see that this will be the icon for our app. So whenever they download it from Google Play, this will be what they see on their phone. And of course the name of the app too. For the app info, the app ID, and some other stuff, I can go into that. Let's just go and go into that. Okay, you can't do it from this screen. I didn't think so. We'll show you on the classic editor how you can edit some of that information. Basically, it's just a description and some other information and categories and stuff. And then, of course, this has got the initial splash screen. This is something about Mobincube. When you first launch an app, it has like this progress bar that goes across. That's the app screen. And one second here, I'm going to pause the video and come right back. Alright, I'm back. So the app info, I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. This app info is what you'll eventually package this app to be called. And that's how Google Play and some of those other ones identify the actual app ID. Alright, so back over here, the menu items are app, where this affects all app attributes. Screens, these are how to open new screens and make copies of screens by doing duplicate. And you can also set items as the main screen. Puts a little one there, so this screen will open first. You could also do landscaping, so you can set your screen to open in landscape mode or portrait. You can also delete screens, just like that. Resources these are elements that will be part of your app. Local resources are resources found on your drive. Cloud resources would be items that are placed in the cloud if you have that subscription. And then Unsplash, I'll show you, that is a online resources of pictures and images that you can use. So if I click local resources, these are 2 photos that I brought from an upload. So let's say I wanted to bring that one in there. You could do that. You could also get your Windows Explorer here. And let's say you wanted to bring those images in just by dragging and dropping them. like these icons, I think I can just drag those right into there. Maybe I need to bring them out of the folder. Let's try that again. Maybe it doesn't create the folder structure for you. There we go. I guess I could have created a folder and called those icons, and then I can grab them and drag them into the icons folder, and now they're over here. Oops. And it'll upload that into that folder there. There's also this Unsplash. So Unsplash is like an online resource of free photos that you can just go and type a, I guess like a search criteria. So if you're looking for cars, you would type in cars, and it'll give you a bunch of images of cars that you could use. Let's say I was looking for scary things. Ooh, that is kind of, ooh, that's even spookier. What the hell? Well, good news is this is all, stuff that you can use for free. So you can, by selecting it, you get this little green check box, and you just append that to your local images. Which is, that is kind of weird. I don't know why it has two. We can go back to resources and take a look, and it fixed itself. So I'll just move that under images. Anyway, that's the resource. For publishing, you actually do publish down here. For demoing, you select this, and demo is a one-time download of the app from a URL created by Mobincube, and you can download that to your phone or to an app emulator. Under advertisements, you have the ability to turn on and turn off ads if you're under the subscription. I think it was M is the subscription I have, so I can turn ads on and turn them off. You can find your ad networks here. There's AdMob, which is the most common one, I think. You could also configure your advertisements in here. We'll have to activate the monetization piece before we can do that. The way we do that is click monetize right here, and that'll tell your app that it's set up to accept ads. And that's actually in the classic editor. But now we're back here. You could set the duration for different kinds of ads. Interstitial ads are the ones that pop up and take up the whole screen after so many seconds after the user comes into the screen. And we can show you how you use those with timers in other videos, but that's under advertisements. That's where you would configure that information. Window is how you turn on and turn off things like the content tree, the screen elements, the elements in general. I guess this is element properties on the right, and then the screen buttons on the left. So if you can't see what you're looking for, just go over to window and click on content tree. That kind of helps break down what you're looking at here. Under tools, there is application search optimization tools. We'll go into this later when we do more of the advertisements and setting that up. But these are items that are available to you. They're links from Mobincube that help you get this started. And then of course there's the support. This is actual Mobincube people that can help you with your issue, with your apps. And then there are tutorials that you can click on, similar to this one, published by Mobincube. And then there's the community, like we saw earlier. So right now we have a home page, we have the main page, we have our splash page, which I always put as my number 1. And then what did we do? We said open screen, go to home. So let's look at home, and let's kind of get let's take a look at some of our things that we can do here. I think one of the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. I think I'll just kill this screen and start over. Do I want to delete home? Yes. Delete. And delete. We're just going to kind of start this whole process again. Alright. New screen. We're going to name it home. And one of the first things I do is put the background on. So click over on, I think it's the, oh, we've got to add something first. Let's go ahead and put a table row in here. And that creates a table. I know you can't see it, but if I change colors, you'll see that it actually is there. If you click in any of the gray space around here, you can select the background color and background image. I'm going to make it black for the background color. And I'm going to use one of the files we have in our images. What is going on there? Huh. Let's hit refresh. Maybe when I deleted those other ones, it took them out. That's okay, we can add them. Just do it again. I think I'm going to use this one. I think it's the one I like better. So this is the background. It's not affected by the tables in front of it. It's just what appears at the back. And I think what I'm going to actually do is work on the bar at the bottom. It's going to have the icons that we're going to use for links and stuff. I don't know if I may have skipped over when I had paused the video on how to build a header bar and a footer bar. Basically, they're just tables that are at the top and at the bottom of the screen. So how would you do that? How would you build a header and footer bar? Let's actually just use this existing table. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it transparent. Well, let's leave it colored until I get the items in there. So what I'm going to do is I've got a row and I want to add columns to it. You can do that by just selecting columns and adding it to the table. And I think I missed it. I meant to put it into that table. There we go. Alright, I'm going to make that 25% wide. And I'm going to do this 5 times, so I think I'll actually need to change that to 20%. And I'll do this 3 more times. The new interface, it takes some getting used to, but once you get it going, it's not too bad. And the classic editor, I'll show you how to add a table. Right at this moment, I like the classic editor for adding just a table row like this. It's a little faster. But the key on the tables is you don't want them wider than 100%, right? So 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 would be 100%. We'll do one more. As you can see, I can add it pretty much however I want to do it. I can draw it in, I can drag it in. Here we go. So right now, this table has a purple background. I'll remove that and make it transparent after I put in some images. And so how I'm going to do that is under the layout of elements, I'm just going to drag those images right into that box right there. And now that the box is bigger, it's not so hard to squeeze it in there, but when it's kind of squished like that, it's pretty hard. But when you make a mistake like I just did, you can fix it by putting it into the right cell. And did I put it in the right cell? I guess it really doesn't matter which one I put it in. They're all going to have one. And we'll see what's going on here with our width. Something happened there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? I must have an extra. Okay. So again, as you type and as you select items, either from the screen or over here on the content tree, it shows you what is the element properties that you're trying to modify or adjust. So like this first image, I'm going to get from the computer this icon right here. And then this one. This is why I wanted them all in a folder. Oh, well now they're back. No worries. I should explain what I'm doing. So I built a table in the main area of the app, right? And what I'm going to do now is drag this whole table into the bottom bars right there. And we'll call this footer bar. And now you can see it's down here. Let me hit refresh and see if that cleans that up. If not, I'll figure it out. it down there. There it goes. Now they're at the bottom. And the only thing left in our main content area is just this image. So let's work on... I never noticed this, but I guess all the other bars that I've built are still here. Let's get rid of them. Keep the ones that we want. This header bar got a table with a text field, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that field with an image. Let's do this. Let's create a field about that big, and then we'll add another column in here. Leave that 50. Oops, let's grab the wrong thing. I want that right there. And reduce the size of that to 25. What size did I have this? Make that equal 100. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. Let's take care of this coloring, make it transparent. And let's add an image into this cell. We're just going to reuse the same icon we used in the icon up here. We're just going to reuse that. And this is interesting. I grabbed that, but it didn't keep it. Alright, so now we got that image in there, but it's kind of big, right? Let's reduce that down. And let's center it. And then let's add another table just below it. I don't think I wanted to do that. I think I wanted to do it like this. Sometimes I just change the color so I know where it's at. There it is. And here I'm going to put in an image. I want it in that table. Maybe I just do it like this. Nope, I need to move it up. There we go. Now it's inside the cell. And this is going to be the title. Teen Ghost Hunters. Got the image I'll center it. And I know that this table cell was white. Let's turn that clear. And that looks pretty good. So a lot of this is just kind of playing and seeing what you can do. This is text that you can't see because it's black. So I've got a text tool, and let's make sure we select it, and let's pick our font color. You can center the text. And we haven't added any actions yet, but we will. Alright. Alright, so I think on this text I'm just going to move it up to there, and let's change this out. Well, sometimes you've got to learn before you can get better. So I think I just destroyed that whole thing, and here's the unfortunate part. There's no edit undo. I think what I just did was, you know, honestly, I don't know. Let's see how long it takes us to get this fixed. Let's go put that header back in. And this time I'm going to bring in a video. And I can select my video here. I can set my number of times it'll loop. I can set the function to play when it's touched or when it's loaded. We can say it's on load. I can reduce the size, change the size to whatever I need, center it, and select my actual video. It's doing that thing again. It's not perfect, but it's a lot of fun. And you should check for sure which items are capable of being used by Mobincube. Maybe it won't play an MPV. Looks like it only prefer, well, M4V. What was mine? It's a Windows movie, WNV. Well, use an MP4 when you do that, and we can put our video there. Alright, let's get some other screens, and then we'll put some links to this stuff. I'm just going to add a whole bunch real quick. Alright, new screen, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just so that there's something in the screen, I think I'm just gonna just throw some elements on them. And I'll explain what those edit screens mean and how that relates to the classic editor. And I can see there the icon type is reflecting the type of screen I'm adding. So this is basically setting the screen type right now. These are blank, and as you add items, it will set the screen type. get those done. I wanted to take this bottom bar and I want to give these actions. So I'm going to pretend that this is like screen 1 or new screen, screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, and screen 4. And how I do that is when I'm selecting this item, I guess I don't need purple anymore. This bar, wherever this bottom bar is used on any of these screens will be the same, or they're reused. Alright, so now I've got the item selected. I go to the Elements Properties, and now I can give it action. And here are the actions right here. Open screen. I want you to open a new screen when this button is pushed. So you go to Events, open screen, go to screen 1, and this is how you can make a nice little navigator at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here and go and show you how you can do some of these same functions in the classic editor. So remember, these are our screens. This is our content area. If you click on Open Classic Editor, you'll see that your screens are coming up over on the right this time instead of the left, but it works the same way. The same functions that were on the new interface are showing up here. It just presents them a little bit different, but they still work the same way. So if I click on the video here, I can center it just like I did on the other one. I can give it action. Let's see if it makes a difference if I try to select from here. This is the resource center like you saw the other one. This file format is not valid. So if you click on there, you can now see the file formats. Okay, so it's MP4 for the video, MP3 for audio, JPEG, and PNG for images. And that's helpful. Maybe they'll add that to the new interface so that people aren't getting lost. We can get rid of the video and we can add an image. So on the elements on the old or on the new interface, they were over on this side. On the classic editor, they're up here, but they're the same thing. Images, text, form fields or text fields. I didn't show you a separator, but here's a table. This is the online text where you could actually call text from a URL, and of course video. So let's just put an image in here. Let's put Beetlejuice. So to select this in the classic view, you just click on that. And that's kind of big, so I think I'm just going to reduce that. And my OCD is just not letting me. You know what? You can actually go into here and type 50 and it comes out just perfect. I think what I'm going to do is I put like a little separator between Beetlejuice and my text. So that separator is something you just drag onto there, and you can change it from a dotted line to a solid line to no line. I'd like no line because it looks nice and leaves that all alone. Here's the bar at the top and there's the bar at the bottom, and I think when we left off we were modifying some things in here. So if you click on that little gear, you can now get a clear picture of this is the bar you're working on. And so in some ways this is how I like the classic editor, because it's easier for me to find what I'm looking for. And again, here are those same columns that I added in the new editor. And just to show you, it's pretty easy. You just drag the table button over and you specify the width. And it's obvious I'm faster with this tool than I am with the new editor, but give it time. They'll get it right, so it's nice and easy. And see, all you gotta do is drag images into there. Just like so. And you just select your images. It's the same thing I did before, so I'm not going to do them all, but you get the idea. And then you can just delete the whole table, leaving here. So I think we are on, which one? Okay, so there's a distinctive difference between which element has action. And obviously the images I have done the action on. Go to screen. And this is all the different actions, and we'll go over there in more detail, but go to screen obviously just navigates to a new screen. There we go. And when you're done with the bar, you simply close it. And now it's complete, and they all have action. So the classic editor, obviously these are your elements. These are your screen properties. So you can change those backgrounds like we did before, right here. Turning on, turning off the background. The bars, they're all here. There's the header bar. There's the bottom bar we just worked on. We can get rid of that if it'll let me. I'm not going to worry about it, but if you wanted to select new screens, you just come in here and you double click from the navigator on the right, and you'll get your screens coming up on the left. Let's hit refresh. Oh, you know what? It's closed and then refresh. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I didn't really script this out the way I should have, but oh hell, I'm just showing you guys what I know. I see this as entertainment for me. I know I pay, was it the $9.99 a month, but I get enjoyment out of it. I get to learn new things, try new things, and you know, creating apps are fun. So this screen is like what do you call that? Where you take the image and you can identify within the image like hyperlinks. I'll just have to show you what I'm doing. Ooh, let's get this freaky one. So you select your image from the resource, and what you do here is you draw like your hyperlinks. So you can draw this right here and select it, and you can say, what do I want to do when someone touches that part of the screen? You could say it can play a song. I don't know, just thinking maybe it could. And you just go and you go find a song somewhere. Let's see. What did it say it took? MP4s? MP3s. So now we got a MP3 file that we're going to put on our app. And so what that says is when this goes in here, we're going to play that Elvis Costello song. Under the area style, I usually hide the area it shows it dotted on the screen, but it's actually hidden. And you can resize this to be whatever you need it to be. That's how you handle an action image, or an image map. I think some people would call it an image map. And let's see what other ones was here that I need to show you. This was an options list, so this could be like option 1, kind of like a link, right? And all the colors that are on here are totally customizable. You just need to go over into the app properties on the right and define what colors you want. I don't think it actually took. Let's try it again. I wonder if this is getting overridden. You got a lot of choices here on how you want to do things. But then, of course, you can set the action of what these do whenever they're called. I'm just kind of playing around, but you get the idea. Alright. App name, screen types, elements, content tree. I think I showed you all those. If not, I apologize. Elements, properties, actions, events. You know, we'll do this many times over, but the elements, once you select an element, you can give it an action, and that can create an event. Best practices, I didn't really talk about that. I think the biggest thing is just continually practicing until you get what you want done, and you'll learn the best way of adding something or another. It's kind of like I was talking about on the classic editor. It's easier for me to add a table in the classic editor than it is new interface, but the new interface also gives me a lot of customizing controls, and plus it's got just a ton more functionality that we haven't even seen yet. Some of it is like creating chats, social posts, login information, purchasing, removing ads, and those kind of things. The classic interface, that's what I grew up on. That's what I started my Mobincube history with, and I really enjoy it. And I do like switching back and forth because I find that some things are easier for me than to do it in the classic editor versus a new editor, but they both have their own benefits and I guess their cons. But I think at this point we'll probably just end this video, and one, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch it. It's not always easy to kind of judge what people would like to see or what they want to do, but I think if I just keep showing you what I know and you practicing on your own, you'll get probably better at this than me. And I appreciate it. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Also hit the like button, and don't forget that this is just entertainment for me. I enjoy it. I have fun doing it. If I earn any kind of revenue from it, from actual building of the apps or of the making of the videos. That's just going to be on top of what I already enjoy doing. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great night.